Hey everybody, so I had a lot of fun doing the research for this video. I was originally going to only do a short about my two Gene Tunney magazines here, but then while I was doing research and found out Gene Tunney's one and only lost was to a fellow named Harry Greb, and I learned a little bit about who Harry Greb was, I decided this was going to be a much longer video. So I know I got two camps of people watching this video right now. People who love old sports magazines and boxing historians who know what an absolute legend and underappreciated fighter Harry Greb is. So real quick for the people that are just the boxing historians, aren't here for sports magazines necessarily. I'll show you a little bit about what I do, and I have a huge sports magazine collection that I'm slowly making videos on. So here's Wally. You boxing historians will know who Willie Pep is, one of the all-timers from 1943. This is, of course, Muhammad Ali, his first Sports Illustrated cover from 1963, when he's still Cassius Clay. This is the first cover Muhammad Ali was ever on. It's his first Ring magazine cover from October 1962. Not a very good shot of him. And I got this one because I say this is his first good facial shot from November 62. Look how young he looks there. What would he be, only like 20, I believe? I think he won the gold in 1960 Rome Olympics. So that's Rocky Marciano's first Sports Illustrated cover from September 1955. I love this cover. This is like how colorful it is. It's his first ring, Rocky Marciano's first ring cover, magazine cover from 1951. In great condition, by the way. I think you might be looking at Top Pop. And this is his Marciano's first sport cover from 1953. I like how they're trying to work out his nickname there. So this is probably my actually my oldest sports magazine here, Gene Tunney's August 1926 Time magazine. So this would be a month before he's getting ready to fight Dempsey for the first time. So I'll do a little history on Jack Dempsey. Dempsey was an Irishman, grew up in New York City. He got picked on a lot as a little kid because he was so smart, bookworm. And his father boxed a little back in Ireland, and bought Gene a pair of boxing gloves when he was 10, and taught him a little bit of what he knew, and the rest is history because he went on to become pretty good. Joined World War II as a Marine, or World War I as a Marine, and became the U.S. Expeditionary Forces boxing champion. And when he got out, turned pro, and 2 years later, he faced Harry Greb for the first time, and was his one and only loss. So Harry Greb, for people that don't know who Harry Greb is, you might want to do yourself a favor and do a little research, because it was a lot of fun learning who Harry Greb was. He's an absolute legend. Ring magazine named him the #2 fighter of all time. Historian Bert Sugar said ranked him the #3 fighter of all time. A lot of people say that when he was in his prime, he was the most dominant fighter of all time. He amassed a 261 wins, 18 losses, and 19 draws. In 1919, he was 45-0. Now, did you hear that? 1 year he was 45-0. So when he met Gene in 1922 for their first fight, he hadn't lost a fight since 1915. And Gene was 49-0 at the time. And so Harry was a middleweight. Gene was a light heavyweight. and Harry Greb absolutely beat the brakes off of Gene Tunney in that fight. Broke his nose in 2 places within 10 seconds. They say Gene lost up to 2 quarts of blood in that fight. If you go to SI Vault and read about this fight, there's an old timer in there decades later writing a story, said it was still the bloodiest fight he had ever seen. So it might be the bloodiest fight of all time. Gene, it was his belt to lose, and the referee kept asking him if he wanted to stop it, and he said no. So as long as Gene wanted to keep going, and it was his belt to lose, the ref let him keep going. And he absolutely got curb stomped in that fight. So Harry took the belt from Gene that night. They met a year later, and a lot of people think Harry won that fight as well, but they gave it to Gene. So Gene turned heavyweight shortly after that, and met Jack Dempsey a month after this magazine came out in September 1926. And Gene absolutely beat the brakes off of Dempsey in that fight. They met a year later, rematched a year later, and it's probably still today, the most famous fight of all time, called the long count fight. So it was actually Jack Dempsey's corner that insisted on the new neutral corner rule. I think probably because they thought Gene was going to probably handle their guy pretty well. So Gene was taking it to Jack pretty good for about the first 6 rounds, and then I think it was the 7th. Jack connected like 4 straight times and knocked Gene down for the first and one and only time in his career. And Jack hovered over him like he normally did, waiting to pounce as soon as his opponent got up. Didn't go to his neutral corner like he was supposed to. And by the time he did, and the ref started the count, they say Gene had been down about 5 seconds. And if you go and watch the old footage, which is a great thing about YouTube, we can all go back and watch these old fights, because nobody had TVs back then. Everybody was listening on radio and could only read about it the next day in the newspaper. So you can see that Gene picks up the count, looking at the ref at about the count of 2. Could have got up any time after that, but he wisely stayed down to the count of 9. He got up and stayed away from Dempsey the rest of that round, and then took the rest of the rounds handily, took the fight handily. And Dempsey was favored in both fights. And interesting thing is, a lot of the people listening to it on the radio and reading the newspaper the next day assumed Dempsey got screwed, because they couldn't see that Jack was looking up at the ref pretty quick and could have got up at any point. Funny thing is Dempsey was kind of wasn't well thought of by the public up to that point, because he got tagged as a draft dodger in World War One. He actually had to go to court for that, and got exonerated. But the charge with the public stood, and he wasn't well regarded by the public. But after that long count fight, sympathies turned in his favor, and kind of like Mike Tyson, he ended up becoming kind of a beloved figure. And of course, he's considered one of the all-time great heavyweights by now. Funny thing about poor Gene Tunney is he never got much love by the boxing public back then, and still underrated to this day. Big part of the reason for that is newspapermen used to go to his camps, and in between sparring, they would see Gene reading William Shakespeare. And he used to hang out with famous people like author George Bernard Shaw. And that didn't play real well with the boxing fans and boxing public. And he was also a very tactical fighter, very defensive. If you go back and watch old footage of Gene fighting, looks like he could still fight today. And there's a good video of Muhammad Ali watching Gene fight and breaking down the footage and talking about what good footwork he had and how skilled his defense work was and how he could fight today. And so yeah, back in the day, the boxing public liked their boxers to be a little more brutish, go in the middle of the ring and just start wailing away on each other. So yeah, they never gave poor Gene Tunney the love he deserved. Anyhow, Gene went on to fight one more time after that, and was one of the few people to ever retire as champion. And Ring Magazine named him their first fighter of the year in 1928. He went on to rejoin the military for World War II, joined in the Navy this time, and I believe this is his first Ring Magazine from 1941. He went in and set up the physical fitness program for student Navy pilots. He married a Carnegie, as in Andrew Carnegie, a steel magnate. So he married well, had a good job. They had 4 kids. Their oldest son, John, was a senator from California from 66 to 77. And getting back to Harry Greb. So Harry was he was I think I said that he was hadn't lost a fight since 1915 when he met Gene in 1922. Amassed a 261 18 and 19 record. Had probably the best. He was known as the Pittsburgh Windmill, and what I think is probably the best all-time boxing nickname, the Smoke City Wildcat. In 1921, when he faced Kid Norfolk, he got thumbed in the eye and slowly started going blind. And they figured by the time him and Gene met for the last time in 1925, he was completely blind in his right eye. So he fought a good chunk of his career blind in one eye. Poor guy, he went in for a operation, some say on his eye, some say his nose, I don't know. And he went in for an operation in October 1926, a couple of months after this magazine came out, and died on the operating table. And Gene dropped everything and went to Pittsburgh to be a pallbearer at his funeral. So if you go and look up any Harry Greb video, you'll realize how there's a fellow named professional boxer in the UK named Dan Morley. He's got a good YouTube channel, Dan Morley Boxing. And if you go to his YouTube channel and look up the best fighter ever was blind in one eye, Harry Greb, 45-0 in 1 year. Really good video talking about how what a great, probably the best fighter of all time Harry Greb was. And everybody, it's interesting because there's no surviving fight footage of Harry Greb. And if you go to any Harry Greb videos, they talk about how they do anything to see some old footage of Harry actually fighting. So yeah, that was fun doing research on these, on learning who Harry Greb was. So I appreciate you stopping by.